Rockstar Forum, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Terry L, and I'm back at y'all another one. I'm here at the Next Phase Studios, as you know, doing another podcast, talking all things boxing. We are preparing ourselves for yet another mega fight this year. 2021 has been a year of mega fights. You're talking about the Anthony Joshua Usyk fight, the Wilder Fury trilogy. We now this weekend we are now talking about the Caleb Plant taking on the megastar boxing Canelo Alvarez, and this is going to be a huge fight. And then even after this fight, we also have the Sean Porter, Earl Spence Jr. fight. This is a sensational year of boxing. So let's get into it. Caleb Plant versus Canelo Alvarez. A lot of people aren't giving Caleb Plant not giving him much of a chance at all. Some of you can call him for the fact that Caleb Plant possibly will get stopped in the later rounds, possibly in the late rounds, round 9 through around maybe 9, 10, or 11. Some say sooner than that. Others have said, Caleb Plant won't be able to deal with Canelo Alvarez's power. As we know, Canelo Alvarez is a big power puncher. He likes to go to the body. He likes to walk his man down, break his man down. We also know that there's been rumors, or not even rumors, but through the boxing fraternity, that Caleb Plant has tender hands. And if he tries to bang with Canelo Alvarez, could possibly injure or hurt his hands. All of that stuff we'll get into that right now. So first of all, we want to talk about Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo Alvarez, as we know, is a superstar. It is a superstar of boxing. He's a face of boxing. Hasn't lost since his loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr. I even believe that was probably a fight way too soon for him when he did fight Floyd Mayweather Jr. I don't even know if he would have beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. if he had fought Floyd later on. Maybe 2-3 years later, I still think the same outcome would have happened, in my opinion. But I haven't really gone against Canelo Alvarez much since that fight. He's improved year on year, fight by fight, more so than just about any other fighter in the sport of boxing in the last 5 years. He's a very active fighter, as you know. In the last 8 months, I think he's fought like 3 times, which is unprecedented in this era because fighters tend to fight 2, maximum 3 times a year if they could do that. And especially when they become world champion or elite fighters, they don't really fight that much. They probably take on 2 fights a year at best. So the fact that he's active says a lot. His ringmanship, his generalship, his ring IQ is superior to most fighters that I've ever seen him face against. I will say this on the record because I did say this quite some time when Canelo Alvarez fought Triple G. I personally don't believe Canelo Alvarez won either of those fights. I think when he fought Triple G, the first fight, I think that fight should have been edged towards Triple G. And I'm not even a big Triple G fan. I just think Triple G edged that fight a little bit. I thought in that first fight, Canelo looked a bit jaded. That long layoff because, he had that clenbuterol nonsense when he got banned for 6 months for a failed drug test and the Mexican beef saga. And then in the second fight when he fought Triple G in the rematch, I had it a draw and they gave it to Canelo Alvarez. So in neither of those fights did I feel that even though Canelo Alvarez fought, beautifully. He fought as brave as he did, as he could have fought against Triple G. Showed mad heart. Didn't show Triple G a lot of respect. Didn't show Triple G a lot of respect in that fight. And he took it to him. And I think when you fight a big power puncher, you got to make the power puncher respect your power and respect you and make him realize he's going to be in a dog fight. You also have to make the power puncher understand that you're not backing down. You're not going to cower or be cowardly and try to fight him on the back foot or whatever. And so I will give Canelo Alvarez a lot of credit for the way he fought Triple G. And that's how you're supposed to fight Triple G. I thought Danny Jacobs fought Triple G brilliantly, but he just got dropped and got rocked. and he lost that fight. And so someone asked me earlier today, do I think Caleb Plant is as talented a fighter as Danny Jacobs? I like Danny Jacobs better than I like Caleb Plant myself. I think Danny Jacobs has fought more quality opponents than Caleb Plant, and seems to be a better operator than Caleb Plant. I know Caleb Plant is very skillful. He has quick hands. He's a really, really good boxer, and he's undefeated, and he's a world-class operator. So as a title holder and as a world-class operator, undefeated, you got to give him his props. But I still like Danny Jacobs, the way Danny Jacobs fights, the way Danny Jacobs, although he fights at 160 and Caleb Plant is obviously at 168, I just definitely like Caleb Plant, Danny Jacobs a lot better than Caleb Plant in terms of his boxing ability and his movement, and of course his ability to fight the bigger punches and handle himself quite well. I do like Danny Jacobs for that. But I digress for a moment to get back to Caleb Plant. I do give him a chance. I give him a better chance than I gave Billy Joe Saunders. And I'll tell you why. Billy Joe Saunders is good. He's flashy. He's fast. He has good movement for a southpaw. He's good on his feet, light on his feet. But I just don't know. I just didn't feel that Billy Joe could have really done a lot of damage to Canelo Alvarez. And therefore, I gave him a boxer's chance, but I didn't give him a fighter's chance. I didn't think he was ever going to really trouble Canelo Alvarez. I just thought he was going to frustrate Canelo Alvarez, and hopefully that was the game plan. He did a good job of that until he got stopped. With Caleb Plant has all of the boxing IQ and boxing abilities if he just solely relies on that and makes it difficult to make Canelo Alvarez to cut the ring off and just try to punish him with those body shots. If he doesn't get caught up into that nonsense and stick to his game plan and make Canelo Alvarez fight a fight that he's not willing to fight, Canelo wants to hunt you down, cut off the ring, and throw in his big shots and break you down. He can box beautifully, as we know. Canelo Alvarez can definitely box. But I just feel that Caleb Plant is a better boxer than Canelo Alvarez. But my problem with Caleb Plant is inactivity. He hasn't fought many times in the last 2 years. He's not a big puncher, as we know. And also his quality level of opponents that he's fought in the last 3 years. I can't think of one fighter that I can think that strikes my mind that I can say, well, he's in the same caliber as any of the fighters that Canelo Alvarez has fought. And Canelo has just gotten stronger and better year on year. The only person I feel right now that gives Canelo Alvarez some trouble is one of the Charlo brothers, is Jamal Charlo. In my opinion, I think Jamal, because he's not going to be afraid of him, and Jamal can bang. That's the kind of fighter I think Canelo will kind of stay away from because he's younger, he's hungrier, and he's a big puncher. I mean, I don't think Canelo Alvarez will be a punk and run away from guys like that, but I just don't feel that would be the first point of call to fight a lion like Jamal Charlo. So, and Caleb Plant, to me, don't bang like Jamal Charlo. But as a boxer, I think Jamal Charlo maybe can't get in Caleb Plant's business in terms of just pure boxing ability. Caleb Plant's obviously a tough guy, and he's no punk. He's no punk at this level, and I believe he'll make it difficult for Canelo Alvarez. I just want to see a good fight. I want to see an entertaining fight for 12 rounds. I will be watching that fight live. As you know, I'm here in London, so I'm not in Vegas, but I will be watching that fight, and I will be tuning in to see how good of an account Caleb Plant can give of himself, in the same way I was hoping that Danny Jacobs gave a good account of himself when he fought Triple G, who was the monster at 160. So I hope Caleb Plant does that, and I hope he does that, and hopefully surprise me and cause an upset. He could possibly win on points, but he would have to box the fight of his life in order for that to happen. That's my take on it. And who am I rooting for? To be honest, I don't have a dog in this race. I mean, I really don't. I don't want to keep going against people like Canelo Alvarez, because I think the more you try to go against a guy who's at his brilliant best, I think you're geeing yourself up to be disappointed. If you have an open mind and then say, you know what, may the best man win, but you probably would expect to see Canelo come out on top, then you could hopefully go in there with not this angst feeling that you hope Caleb Plant does this. It's very similar to when I watched the fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, the trilogy, the third fight. My heart said Wilder, but my head said Canelo Alvarez. I'm sort of in that boat now. My heart will probably lean towards Caleb, because I'm a big fan of people who have great boxing skills and can move their way up the ranks and become a world-class operator, even against the odds when people don't really fancy him. And I just think, he's a guy who's been around the boxing scene for a very long time. Andre Ward rates him, and I rate Andre Ward highly. So, excuse me, if Andre Ward rates Caleb Plant, that's telling you a lot about Caleb Plant. So, like I say, he's no punk. I'm rooting for him. I hope that he does well. But I think if I was to predict a winner in this fight, I would say Canelo Alvarez wins by decision. I don't think he stopped Caleb Plant. I'm hoping he don't stop Caleb Plant. I hope Caleb Plant makes it to the final bell and does a good job, because I think that a lot of times, because Caleb Plant because of Canelo Alvarez doing such a great job of walking these fighters down, his last 5 opponents, especially the way he treated Callum Smith. He treated him like he was a chopping tree. He just walked him down and broke him down like he was just like some tall fighter, just like a sparring partner. And Callum Smith either got shell-shocked of the occasion, or you can give a lot of credit to Canelo Alvarez. He made Callum Smith look ordinary that night. I don't think Caleb Plant would be that type of an opponent for him, because obviously he's not as tall and lanky and rangy as Callum Smith. And he's taller than Canelo Alvarez, as most of Canelo Alvarez's opponents are. But I just think that Caleb Plant just isn't afraid of Canelo Alvarez. You can't be when you're fighting guys like him. So that's my prediction. What's your prediction? I say Canelo wins by decision, but my heart says Caleb Plant, but my head says Canelo Alvarez. You hit the like and subscribe button, as you should, because Boxstar Forum is doing it. We appreciate the love and support you guys have been showing us. And leave your comments below, and let's get into it, and let's look forward to a fantastic fight this coming Saturday between Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant for all the marbles at 168. That's all I got for y'all. I'm out of here. Until the next one. Peace.